and welcome to Penciled In Podcast. I am Nikki, also known as Penciled In Nikki, the guy to my right. This is Mike, and speaking to us from Bridge Pro, we have our wonderful, long-suffering producer, Peta, whose unenviable job it is to try and keep us on some form of track.
I try.
He tries.
Yeah, we were scheduled to do like an hour and a half to 2 hours a couple of Saturdays ago. This is another time we've done this. So we're doing like a test run.
Yeah.
And it ended up being what, a 4 hour?
3 hours and 42 minutes, which I managed to cut down to about 3 hours.
Nice. So we're going to try and be a little bit more concise. And so I think what the first thing is we're going to do. I am being professional.
Yeah, you are. Sorry.
It's a goal to hit. That's what it is. It's a goal to hit.
It's a goal. So we are going to talk first, I think, about, are we going A-Dub?
Yeah, let's talk to A-Dub.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff has happened over the last, since last week we're recording on Wednesday, so Dynamite is tonight, which is super exciting. But last week, one of the coolest things, if you're not a fan of AEW, but you at least know who these people are, one William Ospreay and one Kenny Omega, I should say, if you're not that into it. But they are two names that if you just getting into wrestling, you're not entirely sure what's going on, or if you're not so sure what AEW is or anything like that, whatever. These are two of the names that you need to know. They're the two best in the world. And after this long rivalry that they've had over the course of 2022, 23, during COVID, when they really got some bad blood over online and stuff like that, and leading to two of the greatest matches of 2023, 2023. They teamed up on AEW.
Slightly begrudgingly.
There was a very
but they
cool
have a
moment.
common enemy.
They do, in the Don Callis family. So basically, just to catch you up on that, Don Callis is a massive carny prick. He's brilliant. I love him. He's a fantastic heel manager. But he has taken on a bunch of young guns and Lance Archer and in Kyle Fletcher. Well, I'm not trying to be a dick, but he's not a young gun. He can fire though. Dude is an absolute beast.
Oh yeah, he fits beautifully with the team.
You got Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, in particular for me. They're both Konosuke is international champion, and they are incredible. He's taking the young up and comers and he's turning them heel, and they're being dicks to Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega essentially.
Yeah. The people who kind of paved the way for them, because they all have history in New Japan. Ospreay's come over from New Japan. Fletcher's come from New Japan. Kenny Omega is a very big character within the New Japan sphere. So Kenny kind of paved the way in a way for them, and then so did Will. And so it's quite interesting. You've got this little dynamic going on.
Yeah, the whole best in the world, in my opinion, the actual best in the world conversation is happening between these two guys
at the minute.
And especially with Kenny being gone for a year with diverticulitis, he had part of his intestines removed, which they reminded us of every 2 fucking seconds. They did indeed. And he's come back, and it doesn't look like he's missed a beat.
Nope.
As well, which is insane, which is a testament to just how bloody good he is. I can't stress enough that these two teaming up to take on the Don Callis family, whoever they take on, there's some real bad blood there between them and the Don Callis family, which makes this very appealing, dramatic, fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Those two stood together. They climbed at the side of the ring. There was if you remember, there's the WrestleMania with the palm trees. They had the 4 pillars at the side of the ring,
like the scaffolding.
The scaffolding. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. And they had that around the ring in this venue.
Yeah.
And they did a double spot where they were fighting the Don Callis family, and they Omega famously does not like heights. He climbed up, and Will climbed up to the crowd, and they did double moonsaults or backflips off the moonsaults off their respective high bits
Yes.
onto their respective low boys, and it was so wonderful. I
was
I
great.
really nerded out.
Yeah,
like,
the
really
crowd were losing their mind, and I did actually see afterwards. Will Ospreay tweeted out that was the highest that he's jumped from.
Holy moly, really?
Yeah, he does it.
It was
He does it.
very
He's
high.
like, I don't make a habit out of doing that, and then yeah. So the fact that he's so when he kind of parkours up the wall to get to this ledge.
Very Assassin's Creed.
And he just runs up it, practically jumps, and then reaches up, and like the fans who were sat there are literally just like grabbing him, like helping it, like pulling him up. It was a really fun moment. Everybody was really excited. So
made all the better by the fact that the way they shot it. So all the way through this, you're like, Kenny Omega, just slow down. It's Wednesday night. Okay, we get it. You went against Gabe Kidd and had an unbelievable banger. You had something to prove. It was a very dramatic match. And it was
Great
wonderful.
match. Great
Insane. One of the best of the year. Probably will be for me the best of the year for a long while. However, we're still like, Kenny, just take it easy. We can see Will in this shot. We know Kenny's climbing, but we can see Will in this shot climbing up and being with the crowd and being prepared to do the moonsault. However, just before he does, all you see from the angle is Kenny Omega come into shot mid moonsault.
Yeah, he was like, just wee.
So you go, yeah, come on, let's go. No, Kenny, no! Oh, Wilson, that was so cool. Oh no, okay.
I immediately was like, no, Kenneth.
Yeah, stop it. It's like when Sting goes up high. Well, when Sting will go up high, like, dude, don't do that.
You know, please.
Don't.
Please.
This could be the last one. Like, Kenny, just take a fecking breather, you nutbar.
He is just coming guns blazing. And so now, yeah, we've got that kind of.
We've got a match in Australia.
Yes.
Between Kanosuke.
Grand Slam?
Yep.
Yeah.
Grand Slam in Australia. And that is, Kanosuke and Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. That's one to watch.
That's going to be fun.
Especially with Kyle Fletcher and Kanosuke and the relationship they've had with Kenny and Will separately from New Japan, from not being the Don Callis family. They've all had moments with each other that are just unbelievable. Yeah. So,
and also there is not. It's also a typical can they coexist kind of thing as well for Will and Kenny, because, you know, the last couple of weeks, Will's been coming out to help Kenny, and Kenny's kind of been like, I don't want your help. We haven't really got the best, you know, relationship. And it wasn't till this show that they kind of both got on the same page and were like, all right, common enemy, we'll fight them. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually work together, because we're also used to seeing them kicking 7 shades of shit out of each other. So imagine the damage they can do as a team.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that one.
This is an event in wrestling. Like, I think it could potentially be one of those events where you go like, holy shit, that the two biggest in the world are together. It was like when I'm trying to think like it's hard to put it in the same way, but Hogan and The Rock standing across each other at Mania. It could be spoken of in a similar way. Just those two, not necessarily the event or where or when, those two just being together in the same space of time. How lucky we are that we got to have that and they got to team together. It's so cool. For if you're fans of that side of wrestling. Yeah. And we very much are. But yeah. It's going to be a very good show. That's how I'm going to signal that I think I'm good to move forward. Do you have anything else to say? That's all included in the. No.
I'm glad you said everything. Really, yeah, no, good points. Throw me up with you.
That's an emphatic one.
No, yeah. And
so good start to the show on Dynamite.
Yeah.
As well.
That started it as well.
Yeah, we were supposed to have Samosis Joseph versus Nick Wayne. However, we didn't get that because of weather. Side point. Yeah. And that's all I'll say on that. Because I'm not going into things.
I forgot. Wait, are you sure? I thought we got that.
That was Collision.
It was Collision, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
But yeah, that was how we started it, we have big news in the tag team scene on AEW as well.
Ooh.
Thanks, guys.
I thought that's why you just saw us feeling dead air. That was all. I'll defend these little.
Tag. It made me really happy. No, genuinely. No, I wasn't waiting for anything really.
I genuinely, sorry. Are you smoking a pipe? Oh, it's a pen. I thought you had a little pipe, like, like Holmes. Sorry, carry on.
Elementary.
Indubitably, there was a tag team match between Private Party, Zay and Quen, against the Hair Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Gather around, y'all. It's going to be good. It was for the tag team. Going into this. What, Petter?
No,
Go on.
It sounded if you took 1930s and mixed it with like soul as well.
Well, yeah. No, you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about this, homie. Yeah.
Yeah. The best kind of gangster. What's going around? Come on now.
Cultures collide.
Do a little dance. Make a little love. Get down tonight. Come on, y'all.
Get down tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The yeah segments. So this match, like Private Party, another little bit of catch up. They were the champs after Mox went bananas, started killing people with plastic bags.
Yep.
And they cancelling shows like Rampage. That's dead now.
He just turned it on off.
Just straight off. Dead. And they decided to push some young guys who really needed to be used better.
Yes.
So Private Party have been there for 5 years. They've progressed, they've developed, they've had injuries, they've been on screen and off screen. Isaiah Cassidy, in my opinion, is a lot more established, and because Quen was off for so long.
Yeah.
But there were two young, hungry guys who weren't taking things very seriously until the Mox thing. They had the whole roster coming out waiting for him, which we will go into at some point in some show about the ridiculousness of how that just went away very quickly. But it pushed them to win the titles. It was a very big moment. They beat the Young Bucks for a second time. That was the whole thing. They beat them back in the day when they were just like young lions kind of thing. But it's not been the best run, in my opinion. Leading into the match, because that hunger that they seem to have very quickly went away and went back to shots.
Yeah, they kind of went back to their not old ways necessarily, because they did keep a bit of aggression.
Bit more aggression, yeah.
But they did quite quickly slide back into what we were seeing before.
Yeah, I don't know if that was on purpose as part of some kind of greater storyline of Mox and stuff like that. I like to think it is, because it did just kind of, like I say, they went from being these serious boys to not serious boys, but like just
more driven,
more driven, more focused, less of the party and less of the bullshit, and just kind of getting into it. And they did that, and then a few weeks later they were back to shots, and they just progressed with that. So when they go up against someone like the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, who are absolute fucking monsters, and they've just been rinsing people since they got there. Maybe not so much in the Continental Classic, but other people had to win now.
Yeah.
But I could not really see this going any other way.
No.
Personally.
As soon as I realised who they were wrestling, I was like, shit, baby angels.
Yeah. And it wasn't the squash that I thought it would be. It got time.
Yes.
It got to show that they still have heart and they still had hunger. And at one point I was like, holy shit,
they could pull this shit off.
They really could, and it made me interested in their tag run again, because it was getting to be a really good match and it was getting time. But Bobby Lashley and Shelton are just Bobby Lashley and Shelton. They kept on them non-stop. Suplexes, drop kicks off the top. Shelton is one of the most ridiculous athletes, because he's somehow still as good as he was back in the day in WWE, when he should have been pushed to the feckin' moon. He really is the gold standard. I know that's not what he's going by now, but he is the. I can't remember what he's going by now. I think it's like I think something to do with standard. I believe that word's in there. MVP called him something. I'm sure producer Petter will help us out with that one. And thanks, sir. And so I can't remember how much time it got, but I know it was longer than some of the matches that Private Party had been winning. I know it's longer than some of the matches Bobby Lashley was having.
9 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay,
Nice, yeah.
So they got some falls in there so.
It wasn't a squash because I thought it was going to be, in
No.
all honesty, but it would not have been fair.
I still don't feel like they had any kind of upper hand, though, really. Only once or twice for brief moments of brilliance, and it's like they could steal it with that. But for the most part, I didn't feel like it could have gone. Like I say, it was going to go.
But it was a great match, though. It was really, they did, like you say, they did kind of fucking show some heart, and they got in there. They scrapped. One point, only one of them was in there. So they fought fucking valiantly, but it just didn't pull it off.
No,
and
they often do this though. With tag like title matches when it feels like this, it's going stale, or they keep winning against guys that they should probably be beating. They go up against someone who might beat them, and then. But they win. It's like, oh my god, I nearly lost it. We've seen it time and time again to the point where I can't think of anyone specifically. But like, oh my god, I love this belt. I need this belt. I nearly lost this belt. I don't want to do that. I think it was Athena. No, I don't.
Athena does that. Athena did do that when she nearly lost it. Yeah.
But it's rare that they don't do. They just take it off them. It's like, and I think for Private Party, that's the better option. I'd like to see that hunger back now, bring out that new music that they've got again. Less of the ladies in the bar, like the three random ladies with them when they were doing that bit with Action Andretti. And
it was meant to be a hand on paper, but obviously my camera doesn't want to pick up anything. Feels like it's very much wet from 1994. But the nickname you're looking for is the Standard of Excellence.
Thank you so much.
I can hear it in his voice now.
Yeah, 100% in MVP's very, very good manager to have as well. They're utilising him well. He's also getting in the mix, which is nice to see.
Yeah, he's had a match.
It's good to see that he gets the opportunity to do that, even if he's not going to be doing it every week, because he probably shouldn't.
No.
But yeah, so happy for Bobby and Shelton. They're two guys who have been overlooked and underbooked for so long in other places. Well, Bobby did win the championship and stuff like that quite a bit, but the end of his run wasn't great. It was like he was bored with his toy kind of situation. But it's really good to see them being used the way they are. So yeah, I'm really happy with that one. What else happened on Dynamite? There was just going to go through some of the main bits, like I say, so we don't end up doing like a 3-hour show on one thing. MJF and Jeff Jarrett continue their weird thingy going on. Honestly, it's fine. It's good. I don't really care. It's not hitting me. I don't massively buy in any way that Jeff Jarrett's going to get anywhere near the title. He will have a match, and if he does win that title, something is amiss. And
that entire fucking promo was so unnecessary.
Like
you can completely be an asshole back without being complete misogynist about things, and it didn't.
Well, this week he came out and apologized for that sort of thing, and I think that was by necessity because everybody got like, dude, at least if that was your like kind of Mike for Mike with MJF, you had one card and you played it over and over and over again. And that's not the sign of a legend kind of thing.
He lost that.
He did. But putting it into terms of him, I said I'd never get into the dirt with a guy. I'd never go that dark or that like that. Like I'd never get that dirty with a guy, and I don't feel good about that kind of thing. Turning it into that is a good way to play it, because it's the only way you could really play it without him going.
You had to acknowledge it. Yeah, you had to acknowledge it. But
I said some mean shit about a nice lady.
Less of that, please, guys.
So, but that's done, thank goodness. Fun Hangman related news.
Always fun Hangman related news. It could be anything when it's Hangman
there is progression in his character. There's development in his angry man storyline. It might seem like he might be potentially turning a page, because after whooping Mr. Tyler Shoop, is it Shoop?
Shoop.
Shoop. It was, yeah, Tyler Shoop.
Like salt and pepper.
Shoop, 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 shoop.
I just want to watch Deadpool.
I don't know if it's
And
copyrighted.
avoid all copyright laws.
I was just to say,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's copyrighted.
So he obviously it was squash, big time squash.
Yeah.
He then proceeds to beat
18
the
seconds to be precise.
18 seconds, poor kid.
Angel.
Yeah, he was brought out to do the, and then he got it even worse afterwards. He got the shit kicked out of him even more. I'm pretty sure he went back. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's leaving. Christopher Daniels comes out and drops an emotional bomb upon him, which was, "You beat me so bad." First, he did say some nice stuff as like, "This is the reason why I was doing this, and I fucked up. I came after you. I shouldn't have done that. But you beat me so bad that I have to retire from in-ring action. The doctor told me I can't do this anymore." And that left a very perplexed, almost remorseful look on Hangman. For the first time in a while, a very like, oh, my actions have consequences on those around me, in a way that I did not expect. I just wanted to give him a beating to make a point, but I've ended up taking this guy's career.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then he thinks about his family, and that original, that good guy Hangman, that hero Hangman comes out.
Maybe.
I'm personally hopeful for an amalgamation of, prospector, crazy guy Hangman, and the millennial cowboy kind of thing. I'm hoping for a good cross between the two of them, instead of like going hard on one or going hard on the other.
Yeah. I like this Hangman with a bit more edge, to be fair. So I'm enjoying this kind of fuming Hangman. But yeah, it was nice to see, because he's always just got his permanent scowl. And I think that was the first time we'd seen him kind of just soften his face a second.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going to start to see the light a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah. So moving on.
I'm just going to make little notes of how many times I have him just going.
Another little funny segment just for the women's side of things. Harley Cameron is a fucking diamond.
Love Harley Cameron.
She has managed to get herself over completely on her own just by being the weird freak that she is, and she's brilliant.
She's amazing.
Really, really great. She came out and she sang a song to Mercedes Moné about putting her in to a title match in Australia. And it was very good, and I can't remember the song, but I remember being just so entertained by everything that she was doing, because she is hilarious and incredibly talented as well. She really is a great singer. To which Mercedes, and very fairly, a bit shitty, because it's Mercedes Moné.
Oh yeah.
But very fairly to point out, you haven't won a match on telly. Like you haven't won a match on Dynamite. So what are we doing here? You haven't won a singles match. What are we gonna do?
She's won something more important.
Yeah.
She's won all our hearts.
She did.
And that means more, god damn it.
It's for the fans. She really has, though. Everyone wants this. And I mean, with a couple of weeks until the Australia show, I believe, we can see that storyline going. We do see it on Collision. It was her against Diana Prazo. Did Diana win? No, it wasn't her against Diana. Was it?
She came out and helped. She wasn't in the match.
She wasn't in the match. That was it. Sorry, I'm getting my notes mixed up. I do apologise. I'm skipping ahead there. Ignore that. Cut. You don't have to.
It's all right. I'm not.
Good. So yeah. Basically, Harley needs to win some matches. That's it. That's just and that's what I think we're going to see now. I'm really hoping to see because she's also really gotten better in the ring really quickly. So she's obviously got a knack for it. She was doing stuff before she was in AEW, so she's not a complete greenhorn, but you can tell she has the crowd in a very special way, and the only other person who, in my opinion, gets the crowd in that way, but obviously very different, is Timeless Tony.
Yeah. People have really bought into Harley.
They really have. And I'm so glad to see it.
I will say one thing, well, a couple of things about Cameron.
Yeah.
One, I think, I could be wrong, but I think she had a bit of an injury that set her back, so she couldn't wrestle for a while.
Yeah.
But I think the turning point almost was when she appeared on Hey W. If you ever saw that episode.
Yeah.
I think
a lot of people already loved that. But
I think a lot of people went into that thinking, oh, great, it's another dumb blonde kind of bimbo that's...
It's the chick from QT.
Just there because she's got certain things. And I think after that, everyone changed and just went, we got to see more of her. She has to be like this on everything.
And a Harley Graham stuff as well. People bought Harley Graham merch.
Yeah. Well, she
did it like a couple of times, if that. And yeah, people are just behind her, and they've definitely caught on. So I'm looking forward to that inevitable title match that she's going to get.
Me too. Whether she wins or loses,
we love her.
She's going to have a blast, and Australia's going to be it. I really hope it happens in Australia. It really should. It makes sense. And it'll be a lot of fun. And
Mercedes is positively dripping in titles right now, so she can afford to lose one.
Do you think she'd win it? Do you think? Would you predict a win for that? Like a big Australia?
I'll manifest one.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd happen, but I'll go ahead and manifest that shit.
You go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Manifested win for an AJ.
You did manifest the win for AJ?
I was like, I'm manifesting that.
Yeah, winning that.
I didn't do that. He did that all himself, but I will always manifest a win if I don't think.
Our predictions make differences, Ben.
Yeah, everything you do during
at home
or during the game makes a difference, makes a direct impact on the match.
So that led into a match with Julia and Jamie Hayter.
Mm-hmm.
It was a solid match. It was better than the previous one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely a lot more kind of going into it. It's nice to see that Julia kind of getting her flowers from the stars, and the House of Black in general all getting their kind of like props from people. I was really hoping personally that I don't know if over the last few weeks, just to catch up, Buddy Matthews has had a match, and afterwards, who was it against? Bloody hell, it was a really great match. Someone basically just Edge went to Brody and Julia and said, "You guys don't need to be in this group, or you guys should run the group. You need to run the House of Black. You need to go and run with this momentum that you've got," because Malachi has obviously left. Without saying as such, it's really nice to see that these guys who seemingly have almost felt a little bit held back, not held back, but like
we've been waiting to see what the point was, like what
the clear talent that they've got and how they're perceived by people, and the matches that they have. Like Brody has been on the cusp of a major push since the first Continental Classic. He really should be I think he should have had some gold, more gold than he's had. Same with Buddy. I look back to like matches like he had with Andrade. Unbelievable matches. He came so powerful. And Julia made the House of Black, in my opinion, and I believe in yours. I don't want to speak for you, but to me, it made them a lot more relevant and watchable. She was coming out.
She was a grounding rod. I think she did a really great job. So, because like we weren't sure, you still don't really know what Malachi, because he was always like talking, saying a lot, but a lot. And also saying a lot of nothing. And so it was like, what's he waiting for? What's going on here? And then Julia came along, and she was consistently wrestling. And so, you know, you've got the guys coming out with her. She then becomes a bit of the mouthpiece. She starts to become a focal point. And I think that the House of Black, as like this entity, survived in thanks to Julia almost kind of making a focus and giving a focus of, we're clearly like
the House of Black is special.
Something dark element going on here. I'm a witchy poo, so like you can at least kind of can grasp what we're about.
She's proof that there's something. She's proof that whatever the House of Black can do, it will and can do.
Yeah, to me, it reminds me a lot of the Judgment Day. So Edge started the Judgment Day. He was talking. He was doing a lot of talking, a lot of mounting of omnipotence. None of it made any sense. And then he obviously left. It was replaced with Finn Balor. But in doing what he did and setting up the Judgment Day, you then got Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest a platform, and they both went on to kill it. So yeah, it might have not worked out for Malachi, and it might have been a bit like, what the hell was that? But credit to him for at least kind of creating that platform for and especially for Julia to kind of take up that spot. And then all three of these guys now stepping forward with what they've got. It feels seamless. It doesn't feel like anyone's missing, because he's not been consistently there anyway. No. So I think that Julia is really kind of integral to that.
Like I say, she was the first proof that the House of Black was special in a way. They had some kind of power. And we got to see her develop, and to go from the stereotypical cheerleader, and then all this character and charisma come out, and just the way she stands on the ropes and holds herself out as the music plays, and they really put all this production into her entrance.
Yeah,
everything felt so special when she came out, and it got everyone over. It really did. And when she became the champion, no one was mad. Well, some people were probably mad, but it was well received.
The majority of us weren't.
Her and Sky had great chemistry as a kind of like a weird spooky sister team. So yeah, looking forward to seeing where she goes and the rest of them go. But but that match, it happened. It was good. It's nice to see. And I'm pretty sure did she give her a respect spot? That's what I was talking about.
She was basically like, you're a tough bitch.
Yeah, that was it.
You're a tough bitch.
You really are a tough fucking cookie.
Like, Jamie gave Julia a really nice respect spot of like, nah, you are a tough little bitch, and we're going to do this again. She enjoyed it.
Yes.
You know, so that's some excellent seamless progression. Like, we've not kind of paused, we just moved forward.
Yes.
With the House of, it's not the House of Black anymore, though. No. I don't think.
No, as we find out in a moment, it's not. Before that, though, it was Edge. Sorry, Adam Copeland versus AKA Cope, which I just think is just him wanting to have a one-syllable name like Moxley or Mox.
Well, he's always been a one-syllable guy anyway. He's always been Edge, you know.
Cope. Like, it's like he's the captain of the hockey team or something like that. I think it's something that he feels cool. It makes him feel cool.
I think he recently said he likes it. He's vibing with it, so we can get on board.
What you got for us?
Live life, Cope.
I hope he gets that.
That'll happen. That'll happen. Someone will do it. MJF will do that when he gets an inevitable program with him.
Oh yeah.
It will happen.
Yeah.
They had a solid, good match. Cope is still an absolute beast, even with coming off a broken leg and everything that he's been through. Pac will always be an unstoppable force of nature that you can actually stop. So that makes him appealing as a force of nature. But it was a really fun, solid match. What is more interesting is what happens afterwards, furthering the Death Rider FT rated R kind of situation, because you had the Rock and Roll Express getting the living shit kicked out of them.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot
behind the scenes
completely.
And FTR tied up.
Yeah, it was dark,
like soap opera kidnap style. Like, remember when Kane got fucking kidnapped and put in the seed silo in Emmerdale all those years ago? I'm going back about 20 years.
I never used to watch Emmerdale.
Only memory of any soap.
I have no idea.
I was thinking, I don't remember that in WWE.
I immediately went there, and I was
Kane Dingle was not the person to bring up in this situation. I did not think about this, and I apologise for my actions. However, he has come out as Kane. Kane Dingle has been a thing.
Yes.
as we know.
I have accidentally bashed into Kane Dingle outside a toilet, but that's a different story.
Is that the wrestler Kane Dingle, or Kane Dingle the character? Or...
The guy?
Oh, Jeff Hartley. Please.
All right, okay.
All right.
He
Cool.
nearly knocked me over leaving the toilets once.
Bloody hell.
Coming out.
At the football.
Right, the toilets are a dangerous place.
What was that about? That was dramatic. I don't know if you saw that, but he just pushed himself back and he's now lay
Like a luxury bitch.
in my arms.
It's like a hairy croissant.
He is indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was, I think that was about the end of that, really. They just did more Death Rider things, not quite explain anything. However, we do have an interview with Renee Paquette, which we are yet to watch.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting as well, because Mox is obviously married to Renee. She does acknowledge it in the beginning. But yeah, more to come on that.
I will
I'm
say
going
one
to get
thing,
Death
unless you have anything more to add on the show.
Riders.
Swerve.
Swerve wrestled at AR Fox. Sorry.
Yes.
I knew I'd skipped a beat there. For some reason, I thought that was Collision.
That's why
It felt like a big match.
It was
probably,
a
I thought it was
real
on. Was it not on Collision? It was on Dynamite.
No, it was Dynamite.
Oh,
was on Dynamite.
So AR Fox and Swerve obviously have a bit of history. Obviously, is only if you actually watched it at the time. However, they were aligned at one point. They have history behind the scenes. They went to Nick Wade's training school and cut him up when he was.
They attacked him.
They attacked him hard, fueling a Darby Allin storyline. Then, due to some miscommunication or not being forthcoming with certain information about your past or what's going on in your life at the time, that was quashed. All In happened, and AR Fox kind of took a bit of a backseat, went back to Ring of Honor. Wasn't really about as much. However, whenever AR Fox hits the screen, it really does feel like this guy has the potential to beat anyone. And because he is really special. He's one of those guys who he's been around forever. He's a veteran. He's so well known. He's still quite young, I believe.
Yeah,
he's not that old, but he's just so good and dynamic in the ring that I even thought for a second, what if he beats Swerve?
Yeah.
What if he does? Because they always seem to push him to the point where he's about to make a big win and then he shits the bed.
Yeah.
Or he gets taken out or something happens. And AR Fox is brilliant. And that match was stellar, setting up something else, but it was playing on the history that those two had. And Swerve is, we've said it before, that he is an incredible storyteller.
Oh, he's one of the best.
AR is 37.
37. Okay, so in this day and age, you could call that
still young at this age.
Yeah.
In modern times.
Like in modern times, I would say that was like, he's in a really good spot. Not like he's got a lot of fuel left in the tank, and you can tell. And honestly, shaving takes feckin' years off him. He really does. It's
he really is. He is a talent. He is an undeniable talent. And when he gets the right, kind of story and stuff, and he gets the time, I think he's going to be. I think we're going to see a lot more of AR Fox.
Yeah.
I think when you said when he kind of comes out, he could be anyone. Do you mean like he could be someone like a superstar?
He could beat anyone.
Oh, beat anyone. Sorry, I thought you meant be. And I thought you said be anyone, and I was like, oh, okay.
So, the match continued. However, the best spot of the match came from the absolute legend that is Prince Nana. Because midway through the match, Ricochet, the cheeky little scamp that he is, like
with his little scissors,
with his little golden scissors, American Psycho Ricochet is my favorite Ricochet. He really is. I think he he looks fucking brilliant right now. He comes out with his scissors. He tries to distract Swerve. And Prince Nana, being the ride or die bitch that he is, he's an absolute. Oh, I love him so much. He's so ride or die for Swerve. Chases him with a steel pipe.
Yeah.
Or a pole.
Just immediately, he's just like right there with the lead pipe.
But it cuts back to Swerve, and then it cuts back to Ricochet and Thingy on the aisle. Ricochet's kind of like fencing with the thing, and Nana's getting, come on now. I've got this, boss. Cuts back to Swerve, and the next thing you know, you just see Ricochet take off, and Nana running behind him going, ah! in Indiana Jones style. It was absolutely brilliant. All the commotion happened. Swerve was obviously able to get the win over AR Fox. Swerve was not going to lose. He doesn't. AR Fox didn't necessarily need to win because he is over like Rover wherever he goes. People really do like to see him because he always puts on a show. So I'd like to see more from that personally, from AR Fox. But the Swerve Ricochet match is heading into an interesting place. I'm assuming Stip. Some kind of bloody stip. We've just had a Texas Death match. We've got Revolution coming up. I'm gonna say last man standing. Why not?
All right.
Or some dumb new stipulation like a casino scissors match or something like that. We put everything in gambling terms. It's a backgammon scissors match.
You can't do a hair versus hair match.
No, well, you could do hair versus
beard.
Kansas City kerfuffle match.
Kansas
City kerfuffle.
I like the Kansas City kerfuffle.
What does that entail?
Haven't got a clue. I was just trying to think of anything that rhymed with kerfuffle
Love
or had
it.
K in it.
Love it.
Kalamazoo. Let's go Kalamazoo.
This is the creative we need.
This is what we are.
Yeah.
This is straight from
great.
Finland.
That's a great jumping off point. We'll think of a step there.
Oh. But thank you so much for reminding me of that match because truly that Dynamite, I remember it was one of those where I came away thinking, God Christ, I just want that on Mondays and Fridays as well. You know what I mean? I was really enjoying it, and we were leading into GCW's big show at the weekend as well. Oh no, that was the previous weekend. We just come off that, so we were on a high already on the kind of like indie wrestling.
It's just a great
slightly
wrestling.
more less sports entertainment style wrestling. I don't want to badmouth anything because it doesn't mean I don't enjoy that. But it was such a good Dynamite. It started off so strong. It ended strong. It ended with some mystery and stuff like that and some drama. But the Death Riders thing, it's a long-term thing that it's not going as fast as some people want, I think. So people are getting real bored real quick.
It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that another time, though,
yeah.
I think, because that's the whole other conversation in itself.
There's going to come a point where the penny drops.
That was a great Dynamite. However, it did make me pull out my book the women's division better sign, as in like, you know, let's have some women's matches and give them time and stuff. And to their credit, they did that on Collision. But yeah, it is something that is that we're being that people are saying to AEW, and they are listening the best they can. But it is noticeable the way that there is a definite disconnect when it comes to the amount of time and attention given to the women's division. There's lots of other women there, but we keep getting like the same couple, and it's you know, you've got all these other stories. They've got multiple different guys in there, and you've got Marina Shafir rocking around, so surely you can get some women involved in this Death Rider story. But on Collision, they did listen. I did not have to get my sign out for Collision.
I will say, in terms of the women's matches,
it was a 4-way.
Jamie Hayter and Julia wrestled for 9 minutes 35, which is the second longest on the show.
Ah, yeah, I know. I know it was the longest on the show. Longest.
And on Collision, the women's match was 9 minutes 28. So
Yeah.
they are definitely getting more.
They're getting more, and
An
also, so we
improvement.
might not have got more women's matches on Collision, but we've had things set up. We've had some segments. We're seeing some faces, and then we're getting Queen Aminata. We've not really seen her much up on Collision yet, have we?
I've seen her a couple of times when she had that thing with Serena Deeb, but
yeah,
we've not seen her for a minute. She's been off telly for a little while. I haven't seen her that I can remember. Aminata, yeah, but it was what it was. So we had Aminata.
Sorry?
No, you just said it made me think of do.
So we had Queen Aminata, Serena Deeb, Diana Perazzo, and
Else was it? I'm not gonna hit my notes.
Yuka
Sakazaki. Of course.
I can't pronounce the surname without tripping over myself. Yeah, please.
Yuka Sakazaki.
Thank you. Who I love her so much. Her energy, she's brilliant in the ring. Everybody loves her. Queen Aminata, just have that woman on television more, please, because she is phenomenal. She's blown me away repeatedly. And then again, Diana Perazzo, she had a great program with Toni Storm quite early on with the Timeless Toni Storm stuff. And she's rocking around with Taya Valkyrie, who again, they both look amazing. They make a great. I like their pairing. Would like to see her being used more, because when they brought her in like she's big shit, and then quite quickly seems to have just been sidelined a little bit or neglected. And I believe there were reports last week about her being like kind of pointing out that she's been neglected, and yeah, she has. She has.
I think she came in with a lot more like. She came in with a bit more gusto, and then
they built her up really.
She kind of faded to the sidelines a little bit, and then she getting put with Taya, and she wasn't really getting matches for a minute. But yeah, after that initial Toni Storm run, it kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
And she had the Thunder Rosa program and stuff like that, but I think that went on too long.
She's capable of much more.
Yeah.
And Serena Deeb was there too.
What I find, you can correct me on this because you watch more than I do, but for me, when I was watching, it's almost felt like they bring in a new women's wrestler, they give him about 3 weeks hype, and then they almost fall off the face of the planet for months and months, and then they bring them back, kind of discard them again for another time.
Yeah.
Unless you're unless you're a specific wrestler.
Yeah, because for me, Deeb and Shida always seem to be the case of breaking case of emergency. If there was a women's match where people say we need more women's matches, we want to see more thing, and it seemed to be right. We'll put these two because these two always have bangers.
Yeah.
Then you get one match, you get nothing for so many months, then you bring it right back, and it's rinse and repeat.
But then it's consistent on Ring of Honor, so they have more. Their women have used way better and featured way more on Ring of Honor. Serena Deeb at one point was being used almost weekly for a while.
Yeah, she was.
Queen Aminata, Athena, Billy Starks. You've got so many amazing talents, and they're using them quite often on Ring of Honor, and not quite. And the disconnect there is channel, but that's a whole other conversation as well. But it was lovely to see different faces in that ring.
Yeah, those
put together four very different, very excellent women who are going to give a great multi-woman match, and we got that. It was I enjoyed it, and like I say, it was just nice to see. It felt like they had heard our criticisms from Dynamite and the week before as well, And I'm hoping it wasn't just we'll do this week and then next week we'll go back to. I'm hoping that it might be a sign that they're listening and seeing that, as in the channel as well, that the people their fans want to see more women's wrestling. Like, it's where the best wrestle. It doesn't matter, man, woman. It's where the best wrestle. So let them wrestle.
Yeah.
The thing that I find as well with the women's wrestling in AEW and alumni at Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor does such a good job with the women's wrestling, and even those on that roster, that it always gets brought up that pretty much all the ones that seem to win the belts in ROH come straight to Dynamite or whatever.
Yeah.
Never defend it on ROH, apart from whether it's Stark or it's Athena, who are arguably two of the best women's wrestlers they have, and they never bring them up.
No.
Athena, what? I still don't know why she.
That's more. I believe that's more of an Athena thing. I think she wants, because there is an issue with, like you say, the Ring of Honor title at the minute. Who's holding it? It's Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
He's never on Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor title is never on. Men's title is never on Ring of Honor. And there's loads of that happening. And Athena, believe, from what I gathered anyway, I believe she wanted to be like, no, I am a Ring of Honor champion. I am on Ring of Honor. Like, she did pop up every now and again. She'd pop in, remind everybody that she's better than them, and then go back down there with.
Yeah.
But she, I think, is all about getting more people watching Ring of Honor, and she's done a great job of doing that, because those people are looking at it, and specifically their women's roster. It's ridiculously strong. But we have the same thing on NXT with that, is like NXT are great at displaying, utilizing, and really celebrating their women. The main roster, not so much. There's a difference, and so, you know, there's something to be said there. They obviously want to do it, and it is there for them, and they're trying to find a way to do it, but there's some disconnect there, and that's why I always bring it back to it's the channels and stuff that they work with, because they do get involved, and they are nightmares. But yeah, that was fantastic. I can't remember who won though, because I just enjoyed it that much. Yuka, wasn't it? And again, love it, because I didn't know who was going to win. I couldn't actually decide. The whole time I was so hoping it was going to be Queen Aminata.
Yeah, because it's against Mercedes, and Mercedes has really come back to form over the last few pay-per-views. Those between those times, she has really come back to form in a way that's like, yeah, that's the Mercedes that I remember from the other place, kind of thing. That's like, this is great. So now I can see her kind of carrying more people instead of people having to kind of carry her, which they seemingly, I felt like they kind of had to, just to get her confidence back. I think she was knocked.
Oh yeah, when you lose your foot for a bit, and you know, through such a kind of the spot that she kind of thingied it in, I bet there was definitely like a holding yourself back a little bit. Yeah,
for sure. And then she puts on this 5-star banger with Krista, and it's like, oh no, that's you. There she is, fantastic, and it's great. Goes to Start as well, just as much as it does to her. But yeah, I couldn't tell who was going to win this one. Any one of those women could have had an absolute banger with Mercedes. I, like yourself, was kind of wanting Queen Aminata, but I was, because Yuka's been making more and more appearances recently. She used to make the sporadic ones. There was visa issues.
She comes and goes,
she was doing stuff in Japan. And yeah, it's really great to see that she's currently having her moment to kind of like shine and be a part. And this is the thing, she could win. AEW have a history of putting their titles on you know, Japanese wrestlers and stuff like that. People who might not even be about as like constantly.
Yeah.
I don't But if Yuka's going to be around for a while, I'd love to see her with some gold and, take some of the weight off Mercedes a little bit. Like you say, she has got a lot of belts. She's the frigging UK champion. When we did our thing last week, I completely left out the fact that Mercedes Moné is now Rev Pro Women's Champion. She is the UK champion.
Yeah. I feel for her hand luggage at all times because that stuff is heavy.
They're heavy belts.
Yeah.
They are indeed.
What did we have after that?
So
we're not doing this in order of
no. Just these things that happen. Just
I don't give up what order you're doing it in anyway.
Just if you're listening, you'll get used to the fact that we do a lot of things out of order. But
it's not a linear show. This.
No.
Let me find. Well, in that case, let's keep on with the women's division because we have had what I am putting down right now as the best segment of the year of all wrestling television. AEW, WWE, TNA, GCW, all the indies, anything. This is the best segment, and I'm putting it down now. Was Mariah May and Toni Storm. And Toni Storm, once known as Timeless Toni Storm, left All In Wembley Stadium, never to be seen again.
Nope.
Until a young Toni Storm re-arrives in AEW, unsure of her past.
She thinks she's brand new. She thinks she's never been there before. Yeah. This is a rookie kind of thing. She's brand new. She's running around being like, oh, it's really nice to meet you. All fresh-faced and
like Mariah
full of beans. Yeah, just like Mariah May, yeah.
But she sold it so well to the point where it was like, well, she's had a mental breakdown or something like that. And it's like she's legitimately lost that part of it. The trauma of losing has caused her to block out the last however many years. So
that's what we were thinking.
That's what we were thinking. That's what she was kind of like leading it, and she was selling it so well. Mariah May, the champion, has been a bit suspicious all the way through because she, she's evil and devious. And wonderful. She's a fantastically brutal champion. And since she's been able to kind of get going with the belt a bit more, there was a weird period between her winning it and
we were waiting for Mina.
Yeah. We were waiting for Mina, and since then, I think she's done really good. And with Toni coming back into the picture, it's been wonderful. They finally had a face-off the first time properly since All In, and Toni Storm flips it. She's like, I'm your biggest fan. I love it so much. To the point where even Mariah May lets her guard down and finally just kind of like embraces us like, oh, you poor soul. I fucked you up, didn't I? Like, not regret, but like, wow, I really did a number on you. Oh, dear. Okay, fair enough. Then she gives her a little slap and tells her to piss off because you're not getting me belt and walks away. Until we hear the deeper tones of Timeless Toni Storm, who never forgets. Oh, she's got blood down her face.
No, it's a lipstick. Yeah,
the lipstick she's got, but it resembles how she looked. Her hair was lighter. You even mentioned her hair's a bit lighter.
Yeah.
Her makeup was different. All of a sudden, she wasn't Toni Storm. She was Timeless Toni Storm again. She always was. She was doing it, and she was getting there. She was getting in there to get that title shot to kick her in ass in Australia, and she gives this wonderful, wonderful performance. She strips off. She's like laying herself bare. It's absolutely bonkers. It's everything.
The hardest role you'll ever play is yourself.
Oh my God!
You just had the best. She was so good. I was sat here just like.
She has the best lines of anyone in AEW.
100%.
I'm Toni Storm. I'm a red blood cancer.
Oh my God! How do you? That was it. It was so wonderful. I'm so happy it happened. I didn't think it was going to happen there, but
I like that though.
I like that they flipped it and just went, you know what? No, here it is.
Yeah.
And it happened on a collision. It also happened on the collision that was happening at the same time as Saturday Night Main Event on the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So other side of the garden. We're on the same garden. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to say that someone made the comparison of how well you can take literally yourself, who plays multiple characters, but still comes across as being someone very different. And they said it was very similar to when Foley transformed from Mankind before the Royal Rumble 2000.
Yeah, before the triple threat match.
You see him, he's literally Mankind. And all he does is take a mask off and has the most death stare.
Yeah.
And he says, that's how you can be not changing anything at all other than the most subtlest thing. And that is what Tony did. Once she kind of like pulls or wipes the makeup down,
smears her face,
it's almost like she's completely transformed into another person. That's brilliant.
There is our unhinged queen.
It was absolutely brilliant.
I know that a lot of people, there was a bunch of people who were like, oh, they should have done this at a bigger event. That, to me, was great, doing it on a Collision, because you should watch the shows, because literally anything can happen. You don't want to be so predictable that people are only going to think that you only do important, good shit on your pay-per-views or special shows or whatever. You want people to, because one of the things that got us about watching AEW in the beginning anyway was that feeling of, oh, literally anything can happen on this. Titles can change, people can return, whatever can happen. It doesn't have to be a big event for something special to happen. And so I think that it was a really nice way of AEW reminding us of that. It doesn't have to be a pay-per-view show for something memorable and wow to happen. And I think that's what makes AEW special.
It is more likely.
Plus, you have 5 shows before the Australian one.
Yeah.
Or might even be less appearances.
Yeah.
But that one incident can... I mean, you'll probably be 2 out of the next 5 at the very least. But now you've built it up.
Yeah.
So now it's what happens next.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you can build that blood, ready, because it's gonna. Mariah May's been chilling.
Yeah.
No one's really been bothering her that much, and now Tony is very much back, and they're really gonna go at it. And the last thing, like, we've seen how brutal Mariah May gets with Tony. We've seen her do it, and so we know how Tony can get. So I think we're going to see a really, really brilliant, beautiful, gross match between these 2 women. I think they're going to make people uncomfortable with how they're going to really fuck each other up.
I sincerely hope so, to be honest, because they have the chance to take their story a step further. It doesn't have to be, a rehashing. It doesn't feel like a rehashing or anything like that. It feels like the logical next step, and we've taken the right amount of time to do it. It doesn't feel rushed. It feels nice that there was a break and that this all come back around. It feels nice that it's happening in Australia. It feels nice that we now know that she was playing her all along. And like you say, what comes next? How do they kind of like maneuver around each other? How does Mariah May interact now? Like you say, is she more on edge? Does she get security? Does she get a heater? Does she? I don't think she'll, because she knows she's a bad bitch and she doesn't need that shit.
No.
But the idea that we could be getting like the feud of one of the feuds of the year of like in last year, in my opinion, or match of the year last year, which was at All In second. We're getting that again. We're finishing a story, or maybe even pushing it further, because I really don't know if Mariah May will lose. Like you say,
that's the other thing. You don't know how it's going to go yet, and so I think doing it when they've done it is smart, because you want people to really, really want to watch Grand Slam. Not that people don't, but you're still trying to sell tickets and whatnot. So yeah, you could have the potential that Toni Storm might unveil herself as timeless Toni Storm at that show, or you do it now, and now people are excited for the absolute beat down they're going to give to each other, because they're going to build that, and that's going to make people want to watch it more. Not the potential that she might unveil herself, you know, as actually I was timeless all along.
Yeah.
I think this works better. I do get wanting to have something special for pay-per-views, but AEW don't really restrict themselves on how like crazy and special they can get, as much as say other promotions do. So
and Grand Slam is a special, and it being in Australia, you do have that hometown advantage, and that of like AEW do like to give you that feel good moment. You know, it's a big happy moment. It's a moment that you could play repeatedly on highlight reels forever and ever and ever. Because it will always look good regardless of how the match goes. People will remember that visual. So, you know, to give her the belt would be cool, to give it back. And that'll make her, what, 3-time, 4-time champion?
3.
I will look into it.
Thank you. I think
yes, because they changed that other
interim
title run to they just because they weren't counting the interim thing, and now they do, I believe, because they should, because she had a good run.
They said it. They said it.
Yeah.
I think they're officially acknowledging it as a title run.
What else was there?
So
she has won it 3 times.
It was 3 times. It was 3. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was it. If she won it this time, it would be 4. So 4-time champion, that would be really cool as well. Mariah May, I think, is just getting going now. I'd like to see her be able to kind of like keep the story going without Toni Storm, without relying on Toni Storm as having this big rivalry kind of thing to drive the evil, to drive the devious. She said she wanted to put an end to the women's division kind of thing, because like no one can touch her, but Toni Storm can touch her and will touch her.
She's gonna be the savior of the women's division. Like,
she'll be the savior.
She's gonna save them from Toni Storm.
Like that. I'm totally.
This is her hero arc. I love it.
I'm really looking forward to that one, kind of keeping going.
Yeah.
I feel no doubt Storm will have a lot of her fellow Kiwis coming over to Australia to cheer her on as well.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Being in Australasia.
I should point out her hometown advantage. I do mean just kind of like.
Oh yeah. Just in case anyone was thinking the other, I'm covering.
So we also had Konosuke Takeshita faced Shibata for the international championship.
Oh, that was the main event. Holy shit.
That was
exactly what you would expect it to be. It was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. It was stunning.
Give over.
It confirms everything that you think about Takeshita. It confirms and furthers everything you think about Shibata. Every time they get in a ring, I feel like they will just produce beautiful work. It was great. Crowd loved it. Heavy hit. It was just,
Seeing Shibata take any kind of headbutt or give any kind of headbutt,
I was just going to say,
it's always like scary now, because
I love seeing him in the ring, but I hate the headbutts. No, let's not be making a regular thing of that, please. But this is just, again, another thing I love about AEW, just the complete eclectic mixture of styles and of wrestling, and all the different kind of from all over the world, different types of wrestling, different characters, and then you get so many interesting pairings, and then you get these absolutely just, this is wrestling. You know, if you love wrestling as in all the moves, technical, or it's wrestling, and I think that's what we got with this. And again, like I say,
called The Wrestler, and a guy who wrote his dissertation
on wrestling. These two men are fucking wrestling, like, in their souls, and so to watch that in the ring, brilliant. I loved it. And I always love a Takeshita match, because that guy is insane.
Yeah.
He could throw people around.
So should we take it back all the way to the beginning?
I'm just throwing out random ones there, sorry.
So, well, to start off, I believe to start off the show.
Garcia Daddy Magic. Cool.
Nice.
And sorry, I'm just.
Yeah, go.
All right, no, never mind. Go on.
No, go.
Sorry. So we had Daddy Magic wrestling, which we've not seen him for a minute because he's been on comms, which he's always been on comms, cheering on Danny and everything as well. He's been great. I love Daddy Magic on comms. It feels weird without him sometimes.
It feels like he's definitely got the thing that he's going to be doing when he finishes wrestling in the ring.
Yeah.
Like when he's fully done, he should be on commentary because
He's so good at
he's
it.
so funny, he's hilarious. We've been saying it for a long time. Back when he used to do those segments with Renee was like, I guess my nipples hard.
He's so funny.
He's a ridiculous man.
He was always trying to crack Renee up as well, and she just never. It was rare that she got through without cracking up.
She would, yeah. You just can't help it.
So that it was him, Danny Garcia, and then Cool Ange was back. So he's been away for a while because him and Ruby Soho have had a baby. Got married and they've had a baby, and that was him like the first match he's had back, I believe, unless I've missed one somewhere.
No, that was his last. That was his first match.
So yeah, we have him back, and they were up against the Undisputed Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. This was set up on Dynamite, I think, actually, wasn't it? Or was it? No, it was last week on Collision. Danny came out to help. He was helping the Undisputed Kingdom, they were taking. I think they were. I can't remember.
If I'm honest,
I think they were helping Matt Briscoe, maybe.
I can't remember.
But either way, it ended with. I think it was it? Who was it who was giving shit to? Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. I can't remember anything.
If I'm honest with you, I honestly don't remember how this match came about. I'm sure that you can find out.
Undisputed Era and Danny Garcia came out to help someone.
Yeah.
Someone was calling Danny Magic out, and Undisputed Era were helping out, and he was like, I've got this, we can do this. They all want to go at Danny Garcia for the TNT title. So naturally, we're going to have a 6-man tag, and we're going to bring in the new father, as Danny Magic says, and that's literally the only thing I remember from that segment is him saying that. But yeah, to have Cool Hand Ange back was really nice. He was clearly like letting the boys do most of the work. Garcia in particular did a lot of the work, but they all put in a fucking solid innings. Undisputed Kingdom, I love seeing these guys together. Because it just reminds me of the Undisputed Era, of a better time, and a time when they were all kind of like coming up, and they've all kind of taken a step back. I'd say Roddy's taken a bit of a step forward, almost, just for me personally, but because of injuries and everything else, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, I'm looking forward to seeing them build themselves back up into the main event players that I personally think they should be. Ex-Ring of Honor champions, draped in gold all the time and over in NXT. I'm looking forward to seeing the Undisputed Kingdom become that again, and I'd like to see it. You see the dynamic that the three of them have, and the way that they can like just bounce these moves off each other. It'll go from Kyle. He might lay out a kick. Roddy might pick him up and drop him on his fucking back for a second, leading into him popping back up, and Adam Cole just giving him a nice little super kick for good measure. Such smooth moves, so lovely. So yeah, I really enjoyed this match, and Danny Garcia is fucking brilliant always. Daddy Magic and Cool and Ange are two of the most entertaining guys. So yeah, great match.
I felt that one.
No, you didn't like that. All right, well, I won't do that again.
Oh no, I just felt that one.
I was giving you a physical reaction. Fuck. Fair enough. That is fair.
Yeah, I don't want to go into lots of detail about all the matches. So that was kind of like it was a great Collision. It felt a lot stronger than the week before. And yeah, I feel like it's moving nicely towards a goal. I know that people are frustrated at the minute because we don't really necessarily have like a clear direction or whatever it is that we're wanting with the Death Riders. But Moxley has said repeatedly before it even started that this is like a long game, trying to build a bigger picture. So I never... Personally, me anyway, I've never felt like this story was going to be something that was going to be really quickly dealt with, rounded up nicely by a certain time. I honestly always was under the impression this was going to be quite a long-term kind of situation where there's multiple other stories happening within that little universe. And I personally feel like maybe it's building to that new show that they've got coming, or its own like a big special pay-per-view or something. But I know that Moxley has said in the interview with Renee, basically like just Jill and be patient. We're going somewhere with it, we promise. And I trust Mox. He's never let us down before. We're all acting like he has. He's never steered us wrong before.
No.
In AEW, let me point out before anyone goes, well, and points out about like Ambrose Asylum match or something.
The barbed wire death match was not his fault.
And and that match actually fucks.
Oh, so
if you go back and watch the barbed wire death match between Jon Moxley and Kenneth Omega and completely just switch off after the pin, stunning match, brilliant, brutal, fucking crazy shit. We've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Just because the ring didn't explode.
In fact,
it's an anticlimax, yes, but just turn it off before Eddie Kingston runs out.
No, turn it off just as he throws himself on him. The count's still happening, and it just looks like boom, it's off. Yeah. Maybe the explosion happened and the feed got cut.
Like the Michael Bay cut, just credits. That's it. That's all we need. But just forget that bit happened.
Your enthusiasm ending. That's what.
Yeah.
Just cut to black. Sopranos. Boom.
When you find yourself slipping into that, I want it now. Just remind yourself that Mox has never steered us wrong. He has never fucking given us crap. So chill. It will come. Please, just chill and enjoy the ride. Death Riders, Did it fuck you up?
Oh, don't care how I want it now.
No, seriously, the IWC is so Veronica Salt sometimes.
They really. Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
I loved them all with my heart.
It was fair with the bloodline. It needed to end.
That was fucking different. 2 years of the same goddamn thing, It's still happening now. It's ended twice, but it's still happening. Yeah, chill. But overall,
yeah, chill.
Overall, AEW has been really enjoyable to the point that I before the last couple of months ago, I was enjoying it, but pretty tuned out. I wasn't as focused on it. Now I'm actually quite locked in again, which is nice.
Yeah.
So they're restoring the feeling for me.
Very much so.
And it's just for me.
And when you've got matches like Okada versus Commander coming out of the blue, really great match, big fun. Hobbs and Big Bill backstage beating 7 shades of shit out of each other, big men, big fucking young guys in their career.
Christian running around being a complete dickhead
non-stop. But him and he was about at the beginning with Nick Wayne and Samoa Joe. They had a great match. Nick Wayne somehow hit a code red on Samoa Joe. That was pretty crazy. Samoa Joe batted him down, so he did his standard Samoa Joe. I don't need to be here for this, and just
walk away spot.
There you go. Always stunning, never a bad thing. When you've got matches like that happening, it's hard not to be entertained. And with their ability to tell stories, AEW, and if you do put the trust in them, multiple stories, and if you do put your trust in them, then you're good to go. For example, the Hounds of Hell, who I'll just quickly say before we finish on AEW stuff, because we did mention House of Black before. They are now the Hounds of Hell, and they made their intro this week. The 3 of them, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Julia Hart, came out looking so strong together, the 3 of them, and they looked genuinely like they were walking through a curtain, like stars in their eyes. They completely transformed through the smoke. It's just tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be a fucking legend.
Yeah.
And the shit out of Gates of Agony. And I wanted to say before as well, with everyone giving them like little respect spots at the end of the matches and stuff like that, I was desperate for like a team that had no right to be kind of like doing that, to do that as well. And that's just their thing for a while. Every time they have a match afterwards, they go, you know what? You guys could really take over. Like, you guys, you don't need this. Like, you got to get really impassioned.
You get a pep talk at the end when they don't need it at all.
Like Serpentico comes out, gets completely squashed. You guys don't need any of that crap. You could be the best. You could be the most, like, really impassioned, gets up and gets everyone cheering for them, and they're just like, why is everyone doing this? Why is everyone doing this, man? Like, what the fuck? They feel bad for us. We're not like sick kittens. It's okay. But they had an absolute banging match as always, as well. I know we haven't gone into all the details on spots and stuff like that because we don't take notes and we're a bit crap with that. But I'm hoping to get better by starting to take notes for these things. Yes.
I just go off general vibes.
General vibes is the thing, and that's where producer Petter usually comes in very well because you come in clutch with some great stuff when we need it. When it's clear, like you've not said anything, you just said this was a good thing, and he's got
waiting.
another thing. He is. I can't stop.
Jesus.
I have nothing to add.
You fucker.
Yeah.
Take his other knee for that one. Huh?
I'm going to take his other knee for that one.
Coming for you, Petter.
I'm going to see you on Saturday, motherfucker.
It's the rivalry of the century.
No, you won't.
It's next
Saturday. Damn
it. But yeah, and if you haven't yet caught any AEW, do give it a go. It's worth it. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's fine because there's so much of the wrestling.
There is so much. Like on the indie scene.
So we are going to talk about WWE another time because the Rumble's coming up and that's going to be a whole other thing to talk about. So we're just going to give a little bit of an indie nod here, aren't we? Because it was a brilliant weekend of British wrestling. We had TNT had a weekender. They had their Ignition Rumble and Merseyside Massacre, and we also had GCW in London, which was also fantastic and something we've been looking forward to for a while. Okay. So we were just going to give you a couple of our favourite moments, really, that we can remember because, God, there's been so much wrestling.
That's the thing. There is so much. Like, we watch the AEW and the WWE, and then we watch as much, and the NXT. Yeah. And then we watch all the indie as much as we can, or at least as much as time allows. So TNT and GCW this week, which was great. And we had... So, any particular matches that you kind of like really enjoyed, or do you need to get your notes up?
No, I'm good here. So, I'm going to go in first with just TNT, the Ignition Rumble. It was a great card. You had MVK versus Bullet, Lucy Sky versus Luna, Temple of Malum versus Act 2, and Nayday versus PL Dotson. And we also obviously had the Rumble as well, which was just pure chaos and brilliant. And it's just something you need to go and watch. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But my favourite match from that show is Nayday versus versus PL. Shout out to Nayday always, because that lad is talented as heck. Last year was his rookie season. This year he's calling his big boy season. He came out there and absolutely just left everything he got in the ring. PL is a big guy.
Big friggin' dude. He
manhandled Nayday for a while, and Nayday can bump with the best of them. That guy just he's just excellent work. And it was just a brilliant back and forth, and eventually AJ came out triumphant. I popped big. I will always pop big for an AJ match anyway. But yeah, that one was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, you really did. I mean, so did I. It's always good to see AJ, and to see him go from the first time we saw him at South Pro, just selling a bump as a kind of one of the kind of like the ring crew. For the entire night, it was amazing. To now, so cool. So yeah, great. It really was a good match, and his ability to kind of like like you say, he loves to bump, and he sells so goddamn well. You really feel sorry for him. So
and he connects with the crowd really well. Everyone's behind him. Everyone loves him. So, you can't not. And then Merseyside Massacre later. That day, was again another great card. We had Drew Parker versus B.A. Rose. We had Adam Bolt versus Shane Monet. That was a good match. Manlight Derice versus Robbie X. Emerson Jane and Rio versus The Experience.
Oh, yeah.
and Tate Mayfair's versus Jay Joshua. And the match that was my favourite because again, all extremely strong matches, some really excellent moments. We had some title changes. Again, no spoilers. There's a few title matches on that card. Check it out. And but my like match of the night for that actually wound up being Judas Gray. And well, Judas Gray was supposed to be wrestling Harley Hudson. Harley Hudson unfortunately could not do the show. I think she might have been ill. I'm not too sure. I hope she's okay now. So Judas actually wound up wrestling a young wrestler known as Liam Carr. Leon Cage, sorry, not Carr. My bad.
Liam Carr got injured on the
Liam Carr. Sorry, there's too many Liams and Leons, and I get everybody mixed up. This young lad is 17.
Yeah,
he's 17. Jesus Christ, if he is this talented at 17, sky's the limit. Just like Leon Slater really reminds me of Leon Slater. He had so much heart, energy.
Wrestles beyond his years.
Pretty sure, like at one point I was like, oh, I thought he got hurt, but he just got right back up and carried on. He just blew me away. I've never seen him wrestle before. He was brand new to me. And Judas Gray, I've heard of Judas. I've not been able to like actually sit and really watch a match properly, get through them and like live as it's happening. And just the pair of them blew me away. Judas is just a really interesting person. Like, you are drawn to him. I was immediately like, I want to know everything about this guy. Yeah. And so I am going to go and learn everything about him. And I know that I get matches sent to me all the time to watch, and Judas has been in a few. I keep hearing his name, seeing it in the Discord. So yeah, don't have to mention it again. I'm all over it. That match fucking banged, and I want to see it again. And we're seeing Liam. Is it
Rev or something?
He's got a match coming up in Rev, hasn't he?
I think so.
We've
seen a card.
Yeah, against Slater. I think he's wrestling Slater.
Nice. Okay.
I think. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that. So if you watch anything this weekend, try and watch those matches for sure.
I'm really annoyed you chose that one because I wanted to choose that one.
You can still choose it, to be fair. Just really emphasizes the point.
It really does. It seriously, not just because Leon Cage he came out of nowhere, just clearly a young kid, but he like Nick says, he was just so good and clearly knew his way around the ring so well, and he didn't take it lightly either. He was hard hitting. He was taking bumps. He was running hard, and he was running as well at pace. It's that like a fast-paced athletic style that like people like Omega and Will Ospreay have.
Yeah.
It's clearly a style that people are starting to get. Peter.
I was going to say, I saw Leon Cage during All In Weekend on one of the All Caps All Day shows. He wrestled on I think it was a six-person scramble for to become the number one contender for the Attack. And I hadn't seen him before. I hadn't seen most of the ones that were there. I'd heard the name. And when I saw him, I thought, he's good.
Yeah.
So I've kept an eye out on him since.
Yeah.
So, and to confirm what you were saying, he is wrestling on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he is taking on fellow Leon in Mr. Slater.
Oh, what a match that's going to be. That's going to be, and the chants are going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Let's go Leon chant.
Let's go Leon. Yeah. The fans are real winners already. Already. It's just, I'm excited. That he is firmly on my radar. Like, I remember the first time I saw Slater, and it was at South Pro.
Yeah.
And he was about 17, 18 then, right?
I have no idea.
So I can't remember. And just being like the same again, if he's this good at such a young age, and look at him now, it's only a couple of years down the line, and he's just absolutely thriving. So
when you apply your craft, you can see the progression and development and the bookings. He's in more places and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
everyone knows who he is. He always
yeah.
you know, he gets brought up in the conversation a lot about in BritRes and who are the kind of the best and the top people, rightfully so. This Leon's going to be right up there in a couple of years himself, I don't doubt, if not sooner. But yeah, he was fantastic. And then we had GCW live in London, which again, fantastic show. And freaking ridiculous card in some places here. We've got Jimmy Lloyd versus Leon Slater, Juan Carl Manders versus Luke Jacobs, Sidney Akeem versus Igor Blanc, Big fucking effing Joe, versus Joey Janela, Mance Warner v Drew Parker, Garbage Daddies versus Lycos Jim, Masha Slamovich, Megan Bain, Maki Ito versus Man Like Darius, and then we had Effie versus Cara Noir. My match of that entire show and of the whole weekend.
You need to slip in with this one. Go on.
Was Maki Ito versus Man Like Darius, because that from the minute Maki Ito's music hit to the minute the music played them out, that match was awesome. It was fun. It was oh Jesus, it was funny. Like, I've never seen a match where the Pokemon theme is used. It was just, Darius comes out, the ballroom pops big, they've all got the glow sticks. It just feels like everybody's excited for this. Man Like Darius and Maki worked so well to each other, with each other, and they really complemented each other really well. The cry spots, the reverses, like I say, the Pokemon theme song, the crowd singing along, start to finish. It was a lot of fun, and it's a favorite of mine now as well, because I watched it yesterday again with my daughter, the kiddo, and she loves Darius but has never seen Maki Ito. And me and her sat together and we watched it on my phone, and I watched her fall in love with wrestling a little bit more and find a new wrestler that she loves in Maki. And I actually saw her she's quite stoic. She takes things in, and she might do a little pop or something. She's not really a big no. But we were just watching it on our phone, and she got really excited. She was clapping, she was punching the air and stuff. When Maki ultimately was Maki, you won. Yeah. And yeah, so it's a favorite of mine for that added layer as well of kind of showing it to my daughter and her just really vibing with it. But that was there was some, like I say, loads of great matches. I know the show has been overshadowed by something else. I might talk on that later, but I might not.
Well, I mean, I was gonna obviously say that much because, like you say, it was too much fun. I think the thing that I enjoyed the most out of it, as well as everything else, was it was the second match on the card. I feel like initially the crowd, they weren't making much noise. It's not that the match was bad, because Garbage Daddies and Kids Like Us, that's
everybody
always
loves them. Yeah,
everybody loves them. But for some reason, the crowd wasn't as loud as it usually is. I didn't know if it was like because it's a slightly different crowd, and sometimes maybe I don't know. It felt,
took them a minute to warm up, I think.
It seemed to. But when they came out, when Maki came out doing her dance, but Man Like Darius did his intro, it really. It got me pumped. We were both just fucking keep going, and it made me happy for the American fans, the GCW fans who have seen Man Like Darius over the last few months come out, do his intro and love it
over there,
and really get into it, and do the when you say 2-1, they all go into it. However, they got to see how it should be fucking done, and how it can be done, and how much it deserves, and how much we love Man Like Darius. So him being there is so cool and such a big deal. Yeah. For fans of him in the UK. Put some respect in his fucking name and get some goddamn glow sticks, GCW, because I was
gonna say
party hard.
GCW fans, now you've got your notes. Off you go.
Please, you know what to do.
You know what to do now. You know how to do a Darius entrance. Not that you do it badly, but
take that ball and run. Like
Take it.
It was just
Not compared to the Brits.
No. We did school assemblies. There's a reason why we're so good at this shit.
Very true.
I just love Derice to do a school assembly.
Oh, he'd be so good.
He'd be great at that. He'd be so good at that. I bet they would as well. He would be so good.
Love it.
When he was like 8 or whatever, just getting a microphone, singing.
Yeah. No, and like Derice, we love Derice. He's one of our soft guys, so we've loved Derice for a long time. So when we see him just achieving, and we keep seeing him pop up on GCW and everything, it's always so lovely to see. Also, a shout out to one called Manders and Luke Jacobs match. That fucking banged. It really did. Doesn't mean I didn't like any other matches on the card, because that one was my favourite. That match bloody went like you expected it to. So really
More
good.
him in a minute.
Most definitely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Unbelievably good match. It's ridiculous that these two have wrestled, I think, 3 times in the last 6 months or something like that.
Yeah. Keep doing it forever.
Just keep doing it. It's a really good little rivalry, man. And a little rivalry, big boys doing big boy things. Luke Jacobs is probably my favorite indie wrestler, if I had to, or at least one of my top 3 guys that I'm just I have to watch his match. And once again, the match that they had previous on Progress was so good. Then the match in GCW was also brilliant, but this one, again, they're allowed to go hard on each other. They're allowed to knock the shit out of each other. Some of the lariats that Manders threw on Jacobs, one of them, they cracked. It didn't snap, it cracked.
Yeah,
it was
brutal.
It was one of them was so brutal, and you feel them every time. And then you've got headbutts. They're not afraid to literally really do legitimate headbutts.
It was
which I'm not a massive fan of, nor have I ever been, not just since rewatching that Shibata clip the other week, but
you've traumatized us.
Holy shit.
If I haven't gifted anything to you before, the gift of just watching Mike's face when it happened will always live with me. No, insert clip there. Because
you threw yourself back. You're like,
no.
It's just the emotion he gave off. I almost thought he's going to throw up in a second.
I genuinely, it knocked me a bit sick. I think it's because I've immediately got one, he bled, and it's that's doing all sorts to his brain. So I'm picturing his brain, which isn't, and then I'm also thinking all the dreadful shit that happens to him afterwards because of it. I'm like, oh my god, this
literally
is
straight afterwards beyond the curtain.
Yeah, it's insane.
So
Jesus.
Yeah, but when guys can throw it super super hard, and just for however long it was, I think 10 minutes or something like that.
Brilliant.
It was glorious, and I could watch that every single week. And I basically do.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. But yeah, they both our card was full, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
we got super lucky. All the indie wrestlers, thank you so much for wrestling and doing what you do and putting your bodies through all the heinous shit that you put it through.
Spoil us all so much.
We have eaten well, both on national television and on stream. So thank you.
Full bellies. Now, this is the point where Peter has to tell us all about his wrestlings this week.
Right up the ass.
Tell us about the wrestlings.
But before that, Jacobs and Manders fought to a 17-minute 32.
Oh yeah,
it was that long. That's what I'm saying. It did not
the
feel
longest of the night.
It did not feel like that long. It flew by for me. It was so good. I was just so locked into it.
You really were, yeah.
I do pop for those matches, but
it's like Jacobs Ishii.
I'm blown away by that. Sorry?
Want Jacobs Ishii.
Jacobs Ishii was the same thing.
Yeah.
They could have been going for Yeah.
You could have watched that for another 10 minutes, couldn't you?
I wanted it for so much longer, but I also didn't want Ishii to do something, because I'm always terrified that he's just like the last punch is going to be his last. Ishii.
What?
Because he's been doing it for non-stop for God knows
It's
how long.
made of stone. It's
He's
in the
made of
name.
stone.
I watched a clip of him the other day with hair, and I thought,
Oh, I bet that's new.
How much hair? Because I've seen him with like a buzz.
he had some hair.
Wow.
I can't remember how
haven't
much,
really
but
It's odd.
it just looked like he was wearing a wig, but that was his hair. But when you've seen someone bald for so long, Angle, for example, when he lost his hair, you thought, this is weird, I don't like it, grow your hair back. And now you see Angle with hair and you think, don't like it, stay bald.
Go bald again, yeah.
I could go into my weekend, which was eventful. So we'll start off with the bad side first. So obviously the UK has been hit with storms.
Oh, yeah.
And me, decided to take a trip to Stourbridge to watch Bridge Pro Wrestling. And to cut a long story short, practically every train from Manchester to Birmingham was cancelled.
Yeah.
Which meant I had to jump on a train heading to London Euston, which was delayed by over an hour.
Lord.
Had to change at Nuneaton and then go to Birmingham New Street. Nearly missed the train at Birmingham New Street because they put the wrong platform number on.
Oh, shit.
Because you have to go, because it's very much like Spaghetti Junction at
Yeah.
Birmingham New Street if you've
Yeah.
never been. It's in zones.
It's a bit,
It's a colourful crystal maze, so to speak.
Right.
Industrial, Aztec, Titanic, and futuristic world. You have green zone, blue zone, red zone, and whatever other colour zone, which I've never gone to. Managed to get on the train, which connected me to Smethwick Galton Bridge and onwards to Stourbridge Junction.
Jeez.
And then followed an Uber because I couldn't particularly walk into Stourbridge and do my normal 12-minute steps because I needed about 15 minutes to get there before the match started.
Jesus.
So eventually I got there. Everything was fine. Until coming home, I realised my connecting train from Crewe to Manchester was cancelled midway through the show, which meant I had no way of getting home. Dabby dozy. So pretty much most of the interval, I am checking trains, and I worked out what I could do is go Stourbridge Junction to Smethwick to Crewe, followed by a £44 Uber ride back home.
Oh.
All that was the plan.
I was going to say, I don't remember you saying that. Don't remember you doing that.
So, event finishes. Great show. We'll come to that sooner when I calm down. I get a lift from Stourbridge to Stourbridge Junction, get to Smethwick. Everything is still on time and working properly.
Yay!
I jump on the 22:49 Leamington Spa train, which takes me to Smethwick. Still good. All good, gang. Woo!
We're rocking, guys.
And then I get to Smethwick, and the train to Crewe is cancelled.
Oh.
This is a mad side quest.
This is like Harold Kumar level hijinks.
So I then try and discover how to get back, bearing in mind that I had a trip to Southampton the following day at 9 o'clock, and the next train wasn't till 7 in the morning. So I had to Uber, didn't I? And the Uber only cost me a small cost.
Is that what we're calling small costs?
Well, how much?
Not much.
Can I make a?
You don't know.
I don't know. Can we do a Price is Right kind of? With
I
this?
know because
you know. Okay.
Yeah, because I was following his journey along with him.
All right.
Well, you take a guess, and I will try and see if I can put the total up on screen after.
Okay. So where are we going from here? Sorry.
I will even help you. I will tell you. It's 83.02 miles.
Okay.
And it took an hour and 44.
I'm going to say £97.56. Am I doing you a favour with that one?
It's not letting us think.
It came to 92 pence and £98.
Hey, I was so close.
When you said 90, I thought he's got it here.
I'll go.
That was a fucking good guess, babe. Well done.
Thank you. I don't want to take away anything from the situation.
But that sucked.
That sucks. That really sucks.
Get that shit back, right?
That is currently ongoing as we speak.
Okay, yes. I await your
both Uber and train because it was over 120 minutes, which means you should get a refund.
Right, fair enough.
But watch this space. However,
to follow.
This is our Death Rider storyline. It's the long-term storytelling that we need.
So I have attended practically every single Bridge Pro show because it is one of the best shows I think out there. Just as I'm trying to get the match because I cannot remember. Oh, there we go. So you had how many matches did you have? You had 3 matches, which then later turned into 4, with a Rumble match on top.
Nice.
I think you both know, but I will ask anyway. Do you know how much this event cost?
What to get into?
For the actual show.
I remember
4 matches and a Rumble.
You told me and I've completely forgot because I'm crap with numbers.
4 matches and a Rumble. £12 a ticket.
A £5.
Oh! Sorry.
Stunning stuff.
And that's before I tell you who's on the show and even in the Rumble.
A £5.
That's all right, though.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, upwards of £130 of taxis that day is
Yeah, don't worry. I've
balances off.
I've gave Ryan that owns Bridge Pro quite a lot of things because I'd booked everything for the Saturday, and if he'd told me 2 days sooner, I could have booked a hotel and it would have been better. But we live and learn. We don't in my case. So very quickly skim through in briefings. So the opening match saw originally scheduled Samuel Hughes and Alexis Falcon, part of the Queen's Catch faction. Unfortunately, Falcon wasn't able to make it, but they had Brett Semtek, who is from British Top Team and quite a name on the rise. He turned up, making his Bridge Pro debut.
Nice.
They defeated the team of Brandon Jordan and Millie McKenzie.
Oh!
Semtek is, as someone I saw describe as a mini Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay.
If you Google Brett Semtek and see how he looks.
With a name like Semtek, I was thinking
it's got to be
him and Mackenzie were the power 2 in this. Everyone pretty much played the part. Hughes beforehand cut a promo trying to run down like his opponents, but the crowd were getting on his back with cries of emo Sheeran, who he always gets it. But I do enjoy watching Samuel Hughes. He is good. But they kept saying they were putting him to sleep, to which Millie and Brandon pretended they were lay on the mat sleeping while he gave his promo. The match itself, really good. I'd love him to put the times on because it felt like it went on a bit, but it was well worth it.
Yeah.
Semtech and Hughes win. Then we had a 5-way scramble with a rule I really like. So, of course, we had the Rumble later on. So the winner of the match would gain number 30 in the Rumble, and whoever got pinned would come in at number 1.
Oh, nice. I like that.
And the biggest antagonist in it was the Inquisitor Alex Connors, who is one of the biggest heels there. Going up against him was Liam Jones, TJ Sky, and Zach Walker, who are mainstays currently in the Midlands area. Zach Walker is, how can I put it? Think of Leon Cage was, because I don't know how old. I want to say he's 16, but it's probably not. But he is young.
Yeah.
Hence why he's called the Future.
Ah.
So, and the final participant was, I don't know if you've heard of him, Kemper.
Yeah.
So, the sight of Jones and Kemper facing each other was a butcher's dream of seeing so much meat in, to put it one way. They got so many times they got close to one another, and you thought, they're going to fight. To which some of my videos is even me going, they're going to do it. Trying not to sound as a mark, but I'm a mark. So Connor's practically tried to play off this, I'm not going to lose to Kemper. Kemper's not going to kill me. With everyone shouting, Kemper's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Fun match with everyone involved. In the end, Kemper took victory, pinning Connors. So Connors had the unfortunate job of number 1.
Oh, man.
Number 30.
Nice.
The singles match we had next, I still smile over one moment in there. And it was the People's Pirate, Steve Valentino, taking on Mr. Joe Blazer.
Fantastic.
And Blazer came out with an eye patch, a hook, ran down the crowd, calling him, I'm making my debut in all places, Birmingham. Which is always a good way to gain heat when you're in Stourbridge. You're not properly Birmingham, you're more Worcester, but that's a geographical debate for another time. So he kept saying he's taking on a pirate, pretty much ran Valentino down. One lad that I loosely have chatted to once or twice, the most vocal guy you'll ever hear at these shows. This lad shouting abuse at like Blazer. One point said, "You've no talent, Joe." Blazer ran him down. He ran him down, and I was there for it.
Wonderful.
So during the match, Blazer pretty much kind of like controlled most of the things, having Valentino in trouble. And then we come to arguably the best spot of the weekend. Valentino stops Blazer and goes, "Joe, I am going to turn you into a pirate." Blazer looks at him in total disgust, and he's kind of, "What do you mean you're going to turn me into a pirate?"
I can literally hear him say that.
I feel like I know what's about to happen.
And then Valentino basically, I can't remember if he tells him to look up. So as Joe starts to look up, stamps on his foot.
Yeah.
And then when he looks back down, he pokes him in the eye. Hence, hopping on one foot and one eye, like a pirate.
Yeah, love it.
Love
Perfect.
the spot.
Gotta do it.
It made me laugh so much.
I love a little bit of old school slapstick.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Blazer, who was making his debut for the show, got the pin. I think he possibly intended to use the ropes for leverage and realised he was a bit too small and far away to do it. But he still got the pin. That's
Yay!
So everything's fine. We then had the Kamikaze Pro Live title freeway match. Kamikaze Pro, for those who don't know, is a Birmingham promotion, but have a lot of ties with the West Midlands, and Bridge and Kamikaze have kind of linked up. So both are going to get decent amounts of exposure. If you ever go to Bridge Pro, they highlight the hell out of Kamikaze with like flyers and bringing their talent.
Love to see that.
Yeah,
love to see promotions working together and stuff, because everybody succeeds then. It's great.
It's the whole community side of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So in this match we had Chantel Jordan challenging along with George Lydon, and the champion was Edgar Adams, otherwise known as the Speed Demon. All three in this match have previously or currently held the Kamikaze Pro Live title, so that had a bit more to it.
Yeah.
Fun match. Love Adams. Adams is one of my favourite ones if he's on a Bridge Pro show. I'm trying to think who he reminds me of, but I can't remember. But the match was really good. The end of the match was a bit worrying. Lydon seemed to take either a knee or a kick. Something happened to him. Was holding his throat for a couple of seconds. So I don't know exactly what happened. But as it turned out, Adams won. I think he might have pinned Lydon. I think he did pin Lydon in the end. After the match, Lydon kind of had the referee, I think it's Chris Adams, Steve Adams, they'll come to me. I apologise for not remembering the name. I always forget. But he was obviously staying with him to see he was okay, but kind of did the raising of the arm to Adams, went straight back to him. Lydon then tweeted out on the 26th, so that would have been the following day, posting the following tweet. Not how I expected 2025 to start off. Dislocated tooth, 5 chipped teeth, and severe internal bruising to my jaw and mouth. Thanks to everyone at Bridge Pro for looking after me, which fair play they did. They were great. Yeah. 4 weeks off solid foods and then training then, but I'll be back.
Oh, bloody hell.
So he had a rough night, I think.
Yeah, real soon. Jeez, that sounds like it's the referee name that you're looking for. I think is Adam Evans.
That's the one. Oh,
yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So we then went into the interval. Thankfully for so Lydon could get a bit of help as well. Plus, you had the final, which was the Rumble match. Connors drew number 1.
Yes.
Brandon Jordan came in at number 2. Host of different names came in. I can't remember in order, but I will pick and choose. So we had Chantel Jordan, Brandon's sister. She came in, I think, around number 4. Edgar Adams came in. Has Hype, who does a lot of social media and plugs his vlogs, He was basically filming himself in the ring during.
Nice.
So I've watched that back. Joe Blazer was involved. Trying to think of it. Lila Kyle, she was in it. Millie McKenzie was in. We had Ryan Parrott, who owns Bridge, and was sat doing commentary. Came in at number 21.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Didn't last very long, but he was there. We had Son Vu Ho and Zach Walker, who in Kamikaze Pro are known as The Future is Meow.
Brilliant.
Son Vu Ho has a cat gimmick.
Okay.
Where he has cat ears, the whiskers drawn on his face. I think Walker's the same as well. But he has the thing of he will lay on his back with his legs up.
Oh, doing the
kind of as if you're swimming backwards in a way, and demands someone to scratch his stomach for him.
You never scratch a cat's belly.
So as they go to scratch it, and you're right on that assumption, because he grabs the hand and proceeds to bite them.
Yeah, you never scratch cat's belly.
That's what you get for not paying attention to me.
Which is the laying down version of when Teddy Ray bites someone's arm. That's the best way to describe that.
Fair enough.
So we had, obviously, Kemper at 30. But at number 29, we had the shock entrant of Mr. Man Like Derice. Who proceeded to beat the hell out of everyone while still rapping. Could not resist just kicking Millie because him and Millie have an ongoing fun rivalry. Towards the end, we had the two Jordans. Millie and Derice were your final four.
Nice.
Millie picked up a busted nose somehow. I don't know how. I saw someone smothering her with a towel, to which I thought it was a wrestler starting an
like John Moxley style.
Because she was lay in the corner on the bottom rope, and this towel came right over her face. Dawned on me it was the referee putting it on her face. So something had happened, which I didn't see. Removed the towel, and a stream of blood was coming from her nose.
Oh no!
So she wrestled another, I think, 4 or 5 minutes with like blood pouring down. Wasn't a slight trickle. It was like coming down.
Yeah.
But as it was, Millie and Derice were both thrown out, which left the brother and sister siblings as the final two members.
That's fun.
Both beat the hell out of each other.
Love it. I bet they've dreamed about that. I bet they've dreamed about that.
Well, the first ever bridge show, the main event was, I believe, if it wasn't the main event, it was a semi-main event, was actually Brandon and Chantel.
Love it.
I think Brandon won that time. So would it be a case of evening things up? So they did the traditional, everyone goes on the ring apron over the top rope, tries to see who's going to fall. In the end, Brandon got the victory, and so he was the first winner of the Bridge Pro Over the Top Rumble, who now gets a title shot.
Excellent.
I don't know what title because they haven't got one, so I'm just Kamikaze Pro. Who knows? Sure, all will be revealed in their next show on March 14th. But yeah, that was Bridge Pro. So always worth going down to Stourbridge for, because I always have my tickets. And now we come to Catch on Monday evening, who hasn't wrestled or hasn't had a show since December of 2023. And this was held at the Deaf Institute a mere, I don't know, piss breakaway from Breadshed.
You can see it from there, right?
Yeah, I mean, on a good day, if you've not drank and you took a piss from the Breadshed, it would probably reach the definition. Or Stone's Throw if you want the PC version. So the opening match saw Ethan Allen of Young Guns taking on the other half of Lycos Gym in Kid Lycos 2. Banger I think we can all agree.
Nice.
I mean, you definitely hope so with those two.
Yeah.
So talented too.
You need a really strong opening for a comeback show. My God, they got this and more. No, it did start off with how it ended in a strange way, with the sound system not playing ball, to which you had Alan come out, did just walking in the ring, and shouted to the sound guy to turn the effing music up because it was so low that Lycos 2 did not come out. So he came out quite late, to be fair. So from that point, we then had a match, brilliant match. Can't speak any highly about it. Alan won with a jumping sleeper hold because Lycos 2 came running at him. Alan reversed it, running towards him, swung round, got him in the sleeper hold, gained the submission. Next was Dynamite Lee Dawson taking on Aiton Steen, with Mr. Steen coming out in a French maid outfit.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think the Buffy theme tune, or a version of it at least.
Nice.
Unfortunately, took it off because gave it Greenwood, to which a few of us shouted for him to put it on.
Did he not?
I mean, it would have matched black and white, but
Greenwood.
Come on.
was not to be. This was another fun match.
True.
Everyone practically, not abused, but everyone was shouting at Steen because he had his white Calvin Kleins on. Had no thing to cover Calvin Klein.
Duct tape. That's what we would have done, wouldn't it?
I mean, I wouldn't have put duct tape. No.
But it was a fun match. All of them. There wasn't a bad match on this card. I can say that for certain. Lee Dawson won with the powder keg DDT coming off the middle rope. Then we had Troy Ryan of Meat Wagon against Teddy Ray. The start of the match was pretty much Ray running into Ryan. He's
a mountain of a human.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Tried running into Ryan, who Ryan pulls the goofiest faces anyway.
Yeah.
Ray equally pulls the goofiest faces for different reasons. This went back and forth throughout. Ryan got the pin in the end, and that was a really good match. We then had a kind of a conclusion to a promo from earlier in the evening, where we had Lily Winter come out, who was formerly a ring announcer for Catch before she started wrestling. Did merch, did a few other jobs for him. So came out weirdly as a babyface, which I've never seen Lily ever being a babyface on any show ever. She's always been the heel. So she came out, cut a promo saying, I started out as like a helper, helping out the show. I'd like to do the same for someone tonight. So I will put up my number one contendership to face Lizzie Evo on the next show tonight. And if anyone was there, you will have known that Helen Charlotte Campbell was sitting
Oh, shit.
So Campbell accepted the challenge and said, "You're really stupid, Lily. You knew I was here. You're going to lose that contendership match." So about 45 minutes later, we got pretty much that. Winter played being the damsel in distress role so well because she, as much as she's the bad girl normally, I think sometimes she struggles to kind of maintain that demeanor of like being the angry villain. So being like the good girl here works so well with Campbell just beating her up so much.
Really,
but then Lily fought back, went back and forth. One of the best women's matches I've seen for a long time that doesn't have a stipulation, at least. Lily won, and immediately they put on the poster that they had plugged early in the afternoon that she was going to be facing Lizzie Evo at the Bread Shed on, I think it's the 31st of March. So I will be getting my tickets for that. 3 matches to go. We had the interval followed by the meat match. Big T Justice, who nearly smashed his head 3 times during the entrance because it was so loud. And he took on one called Manders.
Ooh.
I don't know how to describe this. I think the term for the sickos would definitely apply to this.
Yeah.
It's a pure... I think whatever Jacobs and Manders was, this was very similar.
Just like a big hoss fight, just big meaty men slapping man meat.
Oh, it's... I mean, I can hardly speak just how the slaps, the chops. It had slight moments of comedic without meaning to be comedic.
Yeah.
Right.
Where Manders is like chopping and everything to like Big T.
Yeah.
So he's talking to the crowd at the same time. Big T turns him back, and as he starts chopping him back, he goes, I think he says England or the UK. It was basically here anyway. So he goes, "This is the UK, motherfucker," and slaps the hell out of Manders. Everyone cheers!
Love it.
It was great.
Nice.
We then had one spot where Big T's outside. Manders puts him on a chair. But running at him wasn't enough.
No.
He had to run up the stairs into the VIP bit. Ran down the stairs. And hit him. Big T, though, seemed to kind of shake it off and drop Manders into the ring, into the ringside apron, which hurt like hell from the angle I saw. Though Greenwood was blocking me. Thanks, James. Big T won in the end.
Nice.
Everyone chanted for Manders to please come back. To which Manders says, "Hey, I'm here for 3 months. You'll probably see me again."
Yeah.
And I went off. So I'm thinking, yeah, we might see him in March. We then had the GMAC title match, which is the Greater Manchester Athletic Council. That's not the word I'm thinking of. Commission. That's the word. Greater Manchester Athletic Commission title match between the champion Brady Phillips and his opponent and challenger Tony Wright.
Tony, fucking right.
Pretty much.
Big fans.
It started off before the match even got going with Charlie, God bless him, shouting abuse at Brady, telling him that there he is. Effectively shouting to Phillips that I've got something that you don't. That's balls. To which he was so proud of himself.
Legend for that. I know he was. Told me himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He couldn't help himself.
He tweeted it later on about it as well.
He's such a legend. Love Charlie.
Him and Rat had a great. Hopefully, it gets uploaded. The match itself was great. Brady took a. I don't know what happened to Brady particularly, but he took a. I don't know if it was when Wright dropped a leg or Faymaster on him onto the title belt, because we had a part in it where Wright was in the corner, Phillips got the title, Liam, the referee, went to take it from him, then it's like a tug of war. Referee takes the bump, title belt is on the floor. As Brady leans over to pick it up, Wright drops the leg for the Faymaster right on the belt. Everyone's thinking, title change. We don't get a title change. It's a 2 count. Then all of a sudden we notice there's a bit of blood, to which the top of Phillips' head had a bit of a gash or a cut.
Yeah.
So what? Spoiler: it wasn't the first time that someone bled from the head in this show.
Yeah.
But as it was, Phillips would end up prevailing despite a really spirited effort from Tony Wright. Brady left the ring. Wright began to do his bows, but Phillips would return and nail him with a pile driver. Was not done there, though. Demanded a chair from someone. And traitor wrestling Jeebus. Oh, joking Jeebus. Gave him his chair. He then wrapped it around Tony Wright's neck. Went to stomp on the chair and break it. But Big T rushed down to... Well, I say rushed. I would say amble. He got into the ring after having stuck under everything.
Was there?
He made the save, more importantly.
Yeah.
They kind of had back and forth with Big T shouting shit out at him, which everyone was. So as Brady disappeared, we then had Wright and Big T looking at each other. So is this the start of a beautiful friendship?
I certainly hope so.
We'll have to see in March.
Ooh.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Really could be.
To the main event of the night. For the catchweight heavyweight title, we had Joe Kessler, the champion, taking on Scotty Rourke.
Nice.
That sounds like a belting main event.
That was really good. The only negative I can say about it was Rourke took he somehow cut. I think a few of you that may have seen it, he sustained like a gash to the top of his head.
Yeah.
And he was bleeding a lot.
Really?
To the point that even Greenwood a few times seemed to call over like the trainers to have a quick check on him. I was like, compared to Phillips, who had like more like a graze, but you could see he'd been busted
just
open.
like a little but a flesh wound.
Rourke was like bleeding from like the top of his head, like at the back. Rourke was happy to carry on, but it seemed to just take a bit out of the match. With like, was he going to finish the match? Was this going to cause problems?
Yeah.
They did the best they could. They did everything I think they wanted to. It was just a shame, kind of like that caused a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But the back end of the match saw Danny Proper, who was doing commentary with Mark Adams.
Oh, that's a good one. Danny Proper and Mark Adams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've got to listen to that.
To do the commentary before. Danny Proper then appeared at the side of me because I was sat on the end. Didn't know why he was there. Then it dawned on me why. So Rock had hit Kessler with a move. I didn't see what he did because I was looking at Proper or Will. And as the referee, Greenwood counted 1, 2, yanked Greenwood out of the ring to stop Rock winning. To which I think a previous catch show, Proper was a referee, reffing one of Rock's former matches and screwed him over and called it the Manchester screw job. So he screwed him over again. So Rock couldn't win. Kessler would hit his spinning move to retain the title. And we should have had a video appear on screen, which we did, of Mr. Scott Oberman making a challenge to Joe Kessler for not next month, but if you're listening to this in Feb, it will be next month. But at the bread shed. Only problem was that we had no sound. So we had the video, but no sound.
Oh dear.
Was the subtitles?
Confusion with Kessler not knowing what to do. Everyone shouting, turn the sound up. We can't hear anything. So we never heard what was said. We just saw the video.
Put subtitles on your videos.
But I think we all gathered that on the next show it will be Oberman and Kessler for the catchweight title, which should be good. 2 Northwest strong wrestlers going up against one another. I mean, top to bottom, best show of the year by far. Listening to another podcast, Graps and Claps, by Mr. Ogden and co. They've been to 5 shows this year and said this surpassed all them put together. It was a great show. So if anyone is thinking of going to the bread shed for the next one, please do. Unless there's not many tickets, and I haven't got mine, so please don't. Go. But yeah, great show, great comeback show for him.
Awesome.
I think everyone that went has said how just incredible it was. I don't think it could have gone any better, barring the sound issues and the little blood incident at the end. But overall, fantastic. And that pretty much covers my wrestling over the weekend.
Nice. You had a busy one.
That's a
lot of travelling that you did as well. Jesus.
Yeah.
The bloody hell was that?
Was that in York?
You got a poltergeist in there?
Well, I'm taking it that City are playing tonight because I've heard 2 loud cheers tonight.
Right.
So I'm guessing.
Don't fall.
I was going to say, make a circle of soul at this time.
Because the only time I ever hear a cheer like that is if they've scored. To which they did it earlier.
They didn't just score. Club Bruges did.
They didn't score.
Oh. Unless they've just scored and it's not come through.
Oh, no. And that was like 5 minutes. That was actually the last half, so I don't know. Maybe they haven't. It's just not updated yet.
Or they're watching it on time delay. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I hear a cheer from that side of the wall, I know it's normally City have scored. Because there's been a couple of times today. If you watch the stream, you'll just see me looking back because I've just heard someone shouting, and that's literally been the reason why. I don't need the radio. I'll listen to them. No. If I cheer, I know it's a goal. If I hear effing and jeffing, I know they've conceded.
Not going well.
And if I hear it twice as much, I know it's a derby.
God, yeah. I used to live by Old Trafford. I lived at Exchange Quay, so I was a little bit further down. So if it was a windy day, you can't hear anything. But if it was a calm day, you could hear everything from that stadium. It was so close. It was so constant. I also used to live on the path where they would walk the European fans.
Yes.
And that was terrifying.
Terrifying.
It was awesome, but it was also terrifying because it was just
it's like an army of people with marching up with flares and flags, and it was terrifying.
Hundreds of people walking down Ordsall Lane, completely taking it up on purpose with a police escort and stuff like that. Flares, chanting, proper like
walking to Old Trafford.
Oh my god! I was staring out, just like, this is bonkers. Because I didn't, when I first moved there, I didn't realise. I was like, what the. Oh no! But it was fine. It actually turned out to be one of the coolest things about that place. Anyway, but yeah, you've had one hell of an. That sounds like an awesome weekend.
Yeah.
We got to go to London and Liverpool via the wonder of the internet, and were treated. But to see some of those matches live sound fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
would like to see the Kessler Rock match. You know what it was that caught his head? Do you know what that was?
I don't know if he says, because he did actually tweet about it. I just showed Michael the.
You might see
I've not seen exactly. I saw the picture of the tweet, but I've not saw where he done it.
No, I don't think he's actually said how it happened, but it's a deep.
That's a deep one.
He might have even caught the turnbuckle. So it just this is the thing though. Sometimes it can literally be the most random thing, like when Cash Wheeler caught his arm. He was just getting down from the side of the ring and just dropped down, and that was it. So you just never know.
Well, Liam Carr at the weekend, he got injured at the Rumble, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Something, and that's the thing. Like with all these injuries and cuts and stuff like that. That's why we said thank you before, because genuinely, it's such a scary thing, and anything can happen at any time.
Ali Catch got hurt at GCW. The People versus GCW. Get well soon, Ali, because that was awful. There is a GoFundMe rocking around for to kind of contribute and help out Ali and everything. I love when
on it at the bottom anyway.
Yeah, I think, and it's just lovely that you see the community all band together, because we all know they get fucking hurt, and whether you like a wrestler or hate a wrestler, at the end of the day they get hurt entertaining you.
Yeah. And it might be like it might not be. Some of them might have like, jobs,
families. They've got families.
So they might have jobs, so they've got that, but they're missing out on their dream. And this might be their job. This might be all of their life, touring up and down, constantly doing it, and that's their income.
Yeah,
so that sucks, man. It really does. So just anyone who got hurt this weekend, we'll say a collective thoughts and prayers for.
A collective thank you, and get better soon. But don't rush your recoveries.
I need to find a way to watch some of those Bridge Pro and the
I've got some clips and bits.
We've got the clips you've sent us.
Yeah, I have sent links.
You have. Yeah.
They do the new show. Hopefully they'll put the one they've just done out soon. So I will link you to them.
And Bridge Pro, can we find them on YouTube?
So they're normally on YouTube, on the Bridge Pro YouTube page, because they seem to do it like match by match instead of a whole show, so you can pick and choose which.
Oh right, I like that.
But they still have it as a playlist, so you will get that show, but then it will be
clips in kind of like order.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for sharing with us.
Oh yeah.
Nice little, was it like a cultural exchange of wrestling shows?
Exactly.
Cooper, do you have something to say?
CM Punk did nothing wrong.
No.
I don't think that. I don't think that.
I know, but they don't know that.
They don't know. I don't think that was a joke. It was a big old jokerooski.
It's just a fight.
Cooper over here has some pretty
His middle name is after John Moxley, and I can't believe you went with Punk.
Well, we all know Moxley's done nothing wrong. He's just being the savior of wrestling that we need.
He is.
I don't know.
And so I
say
think
that with a straight face, Mike.
Sorry, he's the savior. I can't say that about anybody. Too many wrestlers.
Too many.
That concept is hilarious. So, like the idea that one person could ever do that, but you can clearly see this might be focused on one person, but it's a collective of people that are clearly going to hopefully going to jump in and get involved, and it's going to essentially be Endgame but for wrestling, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be cinematic, and everyone will shut the fuck
Who's
up.
Thanos? Who's the Thanos in the whole thing?
Mox is Thanos.
He's a little work talk.
Mox is Thanos.
But I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then, in that case,
Well, next time we'll probably talk
Rumble,
this kind of stuff we're nuts with, the Rumble, and we have got
Infamous
this weekend. So by the time it comes out, we'll probably have already gone. So we'll be talking a bit about Infamous and maybe OTP, depending on when we record, because we've got a show coming up where we will get to see our wonderful producer Petter in the flesh.
And I'm at Future Shock. Double header.
and you're at Future double header, right? It's a double header, isn't it?
And we may even have a special mini bonus show, possibly.
Oh,
Which we were slightly discussing off air.
Sorry, Cooper is being very demanding right now. He has decided now is the time for us to end our podcast.
That wasn't Cooper. That was my knees thinking about seeing Mike again.
That's right. One day I will drop the harshest promo on your knees.
Just on his knees.
But just so you know,
his knees.
Just your knees. No, that'll be for the knees. But Peter, just so you know, I'm coming for you. It won't be pretty. It won't be slow. It won't be fast even. It will be slow. I feel so terrible for what I did to your knees that day. I was willing to let it all go. I'm dropping the promo now, motherfucker. Here's the thing.
No.
You're breaking kayfabe.
I've had tequila. And now I'm going to do a rock promo.
But that is our podcast. All of our socials will probably be attached. And please do check out Charlie Crowther's Zipline Challenge fundraiser. Because at the minute he's also doing a thing where he's going to kind of match the donation, and that is going to go to Ali Catch. So really lovely thing that he's doing there. So he's like doing a double fundraiser at the minute. But yeah, that's us. That's us and us. Cooper and Harvey and Peter.
We can end it like proper sitcom vibes.